Common sense. It's actually what led us to be here today. I truly believe that, when you choose a horse to run a race like the Kentucky Derby that never won a race, I mean, it was a big mistake. I truly believe that the messaging from Donald J. Trump was very clear. It was transparent. This is what I want to do for this country. He has proven that when he was president before. And I can tell you that we suffered a shift here because of how we now have educated ourselves and what's the best for our families and this country. So we are in a new beginning to make this nation of ours a better place again.
Roberto, we're showing some video there with you and Donald Trump. There are a number of reports that cite the various reasons, by the way, in which he would have gained historic ground with the Hispanic and Latino communities here. But you spoke at one of the final rallies in Pittsburgh, of course, in Pennsylvania. Why do you think your message resonated so well with these voters?
I live in Pennsylvania. I know what the common and working class men and women are suffering, are going through, and they need a change. We all need a change. I have 3 young children that live here in Pennsylvania as well, and I know what's going on. I'm like I said, it's a godsend of a time to be able to have this shift because we needed that change for the sake of our children, our schools, our health. This is something that we are suffering mental health crisis in this country. And Bobby Kennedy Jr., for me, is a big part of why actually I jumped on board, because I truly believe that overall we are in a crisis of health, illness, stress, because of what people are going through. And we need to change that and make America healthy again.
I want to get back to the media coverage that we've seen and some of that soundbite that we played earlier. Why do you believe that the left seemingly sees everything through a lens of gender, everything through a lens of race, instead of perhaps policy like you were mentioning? Why is it always about race, seemingly?
I believe that it's an attempt. It's actually something that right now is the only thing that they have left in terms of the media and the rhetoric. I think that is the part that they have manipulated a lot of people for a long time, but the people have woken up and are seeing through it. The messaging is not working any longer. Like I said, it's common sense. You take a look at the facts, take a look at the numbers that came through voting for President Trump. It's because we know better than what they're giving us. And I can tell you that I'm very excited that this man is going to do something very special for this country. And it's going to be a historic moment when he leaves office as perhaps the best administration that this nation has ever seen.
Donald Trump is a billionaire, right? And he's never pretended to be someone that he's not. You've had a chance to obviously speak with him there, maybe get to know him more personally. What is it that you see in the former president, now president-elect, that perhaps the media is missing?
I compare him, he might not mind this, but I compare him to Mr. George Steinbrenner, the owner of the New York Yankees, who actually was perhaps the best owner of a franchise in history. Because George believed in his team. He believed in winning. He loved winning. He hated losing. And he doubled down, put his money where his mouth was. And this is the same approach that President Trump has for this country. The love that he has. So when I was able to get to him and see him, the same thing happened to me when I met George Steinbrenner for the first time. And it's a hard shell, but inside is love, passion, integrity, and the messaging that I always had before, years and years ago, was completely wrong. So I truly believe that people need to look through and past the tone, how he speaks, because what's behind that hood is a beautiful man that wants this country to be the better country that he can leave behind.
Information. Truth is freedom. is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.